Across the sweeping savannas, highlands, and valleys of Africa, one crop stands tall, literally: maize. It is one of the most important staple crops in Africa. It is a dietary staple for over 300 million people in sub-Saharan Africa, making it a critical crop for food security, nutrition, livelihoods, and economic development across the continent.
Maize is a very important crop in Africa, being the staple crop across many countries in Africa, providing calories, nutrition, and income for smallholder farmers that are involved in the maize farming systems. However, maize is faced with a lot of challenges that include the effects of drought and climate change, poor soil fertility, weak and limited extension services, and pests and diseases, including new ones like fall armyworm, even challenges in effective weed management.
The challenge ile inaonekana hapa kwetu ni kukosa watu, umaskini, na kupata mbegu inakuwa ni shida, kupata mbolea inaweza kuwa ni shida. So inafanya mtu anapanda ile mbegu hizo kumsaidia. By the end of the day, unapata mtu amekosa chakula na ako na shamba. So shida ni vile watu wanaweza pata mbegu na fertilizer.
The challenge I saw, there were many. This thing called, they call it striker. This thing is a dangerous thing. And it can determine somebody not to do farming anymore in life. Because you see where I've kept the one without treated are so poor, even the animal feed cannot satisfy. So this training has challenged me. I have to use the treated, even how much expensive it is. I can manage to persevere when I have a hope that I'll get something.
Growing maize has faced many challenges, from pests and diseases, impact of climate change, farmers' inability to afford farm inputs, post-harvest losses, to inadequate knowledge on the best agricultural practices. To change the narrative, AATF, through its TAAT Maize project, is providing improved climate-smart maize varieties that give farmers higher yields. AATF works with farmers to establish demo plots where farmers come to learn, compare, and adapt best practices firsthand. Schools are also involved in the training, which helps them establish school feeding programs.
The Technologies for African Agricultural Transformation TAAT program was introduced by the African Development Bank to provide solutions that will transform the agricultural systems in Africa to enhance food production and reduce imports and poverty among farming communities in Africa. And as the TAAT Maize program, we've introduced some technologies that will solve the challenges being faced by the maize farmers across Africa. And some of the interventions that we have provided is the deployment of climate-smart varieties that can produce reasonable yields even under conditions of drought. And we have also introduced good agricultural practices to address soil fertility issues and also pest and disease management. We also provided support in market linkages so that maize is grown as a business and farmers increase their income. The TAAT Maize has achieved significant milestones across Africa. Compact has deployed over 33,000 tons of maize seed, working in partnership with the local seed industry. And these 33,000 tons of maize seed will benefit over 3.3 million farmers across Africa to plant climate-smart varieties. The maize compact also achieved impact in terms of training of trainers across African countries where the maize compact is operating. In Africa, we are facing challenges of feeding ourselves, and even it affects even school going age. And our efforts in TAAT Maize Compact is also to work with schools so that we try and produce food that will be used to working with the administration of the schools and introduce these climate smart varieties so that the schools administration can grow food that can be used as a feeding program.
Our children come from a region or from areas where the parents are vulnerable. The poverty levels and the poverty indexes are a little bit high. Sometimes when we don't have meals in school, we get that the rate at which they come in school is so much reduced, and it really impacts on their classwork and general health. But with the program in place, especially for the grades that are now in the lunch program, we found that there is a big difference. There is little or minimal absenteeism unless the child is sick.
But we also noted that agriculture is undertaken by maybe old generation. We are also training school-going kids so that when they grow up, they will also venture into farming, and by that we hope we will do agriculture in using technologies and working with the youth and improve the production systems and be food secure in Africa in the future.
We have been having numerous trainings. Those trainings have really helped us. We know what to plant, how to take care of our plants, the distance between one maize to another, how we need to top dress them, the right time to weed, how to spray. They've been giving us all those training, and it has really helped. Compared to those other farmers who does not have the knowledge, we can at least have better produce compared to that person who does not attend the training.
The story of AATF's WEMA 4141, 3106, WEMA 5117, WEMA 2109, and WEMA 21076 maize varieties is more than just maize. It's a story of renewal, of land, of livelihoods, and of hope. From the hands of smallholder farmers to the hearts of entire communities, AATF is planting more than seeds. They are planting possibility. Because when farmers thrive, families eat, children learn, and nations grow.
Nimepata mahindi, nimevuna hapo, ninauza mpaka imenitoa kwa hiyo nyumba, imeniweka kwa hii nyumba, nimejenga mwenyewe na mikono yangu. Na ndio hii bado naendelea kuimalizia. Hata mtoto, niko na mtoto mmoja, ako class 7, lakini nimepeleka boarding school sahi, ako Matumbuko.
Through TAAT project and AATF's focus on sustainability, farmers are not only harvesting more, they're also gaining the skills to store, process, and sell their produce effectively, building resilience that lasts well beyond a single season.
Wakati nilikuwa bado sijajua hii 4141 hii iko, nilikuwa napanda hii ya kienyeji. Na naona ilikuwa nanipotezea wakati hata shamba yangu sikuwa napata kitu. Wakati nilipanda hii nikaona sasa mabadiliko ilikuwa kubwa sana. Sasa naimizia tu watu tuachane na kupanda hii vitu ya virogoli hii ya kienyeji hii. Tupande mahindi yenye nafaa. Inaweza kutupatia manufaa sana kwa jamii yetu.
Training learners in agriculture and good agricultural practice and introduce the principles so that we impart skills on maize production to the learners so that when they grow up they can also participate effectively in maize production in their life. But as we're also focusing on making sure that schools can be able to feed learners, especially in primary schools, we are working with school administration to be able to grow these climate smart varieties, good agricultural practice, so that they can produce enough food that they can introduce in their school feeding program and encourage learners, especially young ones, to come to school.
The impact of TAAT Maize is felt far beyond the farm. It's seen in every child who benefits from the school feeding programs, every mother that is now able to afford school fees, and every youth who uses surplus yield proceeds to invest. The impact of the TAAT Maize project speaks for itself through the voices of its real beneficiaries, smallholder farmers.